All right, welcome back to another edition of Logician Tim Learns with me, your host, Logician Tim. We're starting this over, you guys, because my audio was messed up again. Hopefully it sounds better. Let me know if it sounds goofy. Sometimes my audio program freaks out. So anyways, this is the show where you get to watch me go from a total gaming newbie to a more informed gaming newbie. Tonight we are going to be talking about the Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit. Brand new. Real quick, I want to just throw this out there. If you look down to the description, you will see a link to my Patreon. I just started it up. If you like this content, please consider donating. Every little bit helps, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, it's just down in the description down there. Real easy. Click it. If you don't have a Patreon, it's like really quick to sign up. So it really does help out a lot, guys. I appreciate it. All right, so tonight we are talking about this new Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit. All right. I searched the internet and I could not find a physical copy out there. They said the physical copy would be available exclusively at Gen Con and would come out everywhere else later. It's a week after Gen Con, but I guess it just hasn't been released out to everyone yet. But you can still get the digital version at Drive-Thru RPG. Let me show you here. So yeah, here's where you can get the PDF version is only available right now on Drive-Thru RPG. It's $15. You get the digital version, just a zip file. You just download it right there, and you'll have it. Bam. But if you want the physical copy, like I always want the physical copy, you're going to have to wait. Right now, Gen Con was the only place to get it, and we were at Gen Con. And so we got it, and I'm pretty happy about it. We picked it up for $30 right there at the Talsorian Games booth. And side note, though, I got to meet Mike and his wife, Mike Pondsmith and his wife, and Cody Pondsmith, his son, the writers for Cyberpunk and The Witcher RPG. Awesome guys, awesome people. I attended a panel actually where Mike Pondsmith spoke, and it was just like crazy inspiring. He's incredibly smart, and he's very charismatic, and I became a fan of his just right away after that. So these are the same people, like I just said, that did the Witcher RPG as well, and that game was incredibly well written. One of the best IP books that I've read to date. That's why when I saw this Jumpstart Kit for the Cyberpunk Red RPG, I knew I had to get it and dive right in. And so that's what we're doing. Josh, yes, super cool, my dude. Super cool. I'm interested as well. I can't wait to discover all what's inside. So let's take a look. Without further ado, let's crack open this Cyberpunk Red Jumpstart Kit and see what is inside. All right. So there are two booklets included. You have the rule book, as you can see down here, rule book, and the world book. The rule book is 44 pages. The world book is 52 pages long. There are a couple bags of, I guess you call them like standee clips, just little stands for your standees to sit on. There's 2 bags of that. There are 6 really cool custom dice. Now my camera's not going to do this justice at all, but just really cool custom dice. They got a cool design on them. I think there's 4d6. What's this? 2d10s. Yeah, 2d10s. So yeah, got that in there. There's no GM screen included in this kit. What they do have is this thing they call the Easy Reference sheet. Okay, so it's just a 2-page front and back sheet, and it has all the basics on it. Okay, similar to what you might find on a GM screen. The charts for like hit points, range to hit tables, skill checks, weapon damage, and all types of stuff that you can find right here on this Easy Reference Kit. Wow, my video is like so dark. Let me see if I can fix that for you guys. Hold on just a second. It's just like crazy dark. Come on. Let's get this out here. Come on. You can do this. No, it's not going to do it. It's like, nah, fam. We ain't working right now. All right, well, we're going to live with it being dark right now. I'll have to, I had it all set up. It worked great. What's Vaughn saying? Our main GM is quite a fan of the system. He used it and adapted it for quite a few campaigns over the years he's been playing. Cool. Well, I'm really excited about it. I know nothing about it like I always do when I jump in a new RPG. And so I'm really excited about learning about it. So yeah, you get this really cool easy reference sheet to get all your stuff at just kind of at your fingertips. Now, I know GM screens, they kind of, when you include them in there, that's going to impact the cost of things. So a lot of the starter kits, they don't include one. So I like the fact that Talsorian Games included the reference sheet in here to make it easy to access information for players and also for the GM. This helps really to keep the game flowing, because you like, what was that rule? And you let people start digging through the rule book and over, and it just, takes up our time, right? And so I think it's a really nice touch that they put that in here. What else do we have? Actually, I can set this box off the side, give myself some room. That'd be smart. So we do have like this thick, let me show you, thick cardboard punch sheet with 19 characters on it. There's a couple of vehicles on here, like they look like hover cars basically, and a couple like hover motorcycles, I guess these are. So yeah, that comes included. Now it's two-sided and full color, so it looks good. Good looking stuff there. So you get the standee stands, and then you got the standees. There are, let me pull this out. There are 6 of these pre-made characters available as well in the box. All right. If you look at them, they got stats on one side and they got the kind of little rundown on the other. All the stats are done for you, along with like, a little bit of information about the character. Plus they have some really cool names like, Torch and Mover and Racer and 40. I don't know if these are like class names or the people's names in here. I'll have to find out more in the rule book. These might be classes. I don't know. So real quick, let me get on my soapbox real quick. Including pre-made characters in a starter kit should be like a law or something, okay? The people buying a starter kit are more than likely going to be brand new players. They've never played your game before, ever, and they might have not even ever played an RPG before. And so having the characters already made up allows them to jump in the game a lot more quickly and lets them focus on having fun and kind of learning the mechanics of the game and the world a little bit, a lot more quickly, and lets them focus on having fun, right? So they don't have to worry about let's like roll up this crazy character in this world that I know nothing about the mechanics and I know nothing about the classes or anything like that. And so I really love that they added these pre-made characters for us right in that starter set. Do it, guys. Do it. If you're making an RPG, please put a couple, just 1 or 2 even, pre-made in there, pre-made characters. Now there's also like these 2, I guess they're like map sheets, like mini maps. They're two-sided. They're grid-based. They're both, two-sided, full color. Again, something that doesn't cost much at all, doesn't add to the kit as far as cost goes, but it helps the players kind of visualize the world and kind of like their place in it a little bit easier. So anyways, that's what you get in the box. Pretty cool stuff. Again, the rule book and the world book. Now, when we start flipping through the books, the pages have like almost like a waxy type feel to them. It isn't like sticky like wax, but it's just like a smooth, almost like a polished wax feel to it. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's nice. It feels good. It's different. I really like it. The text is really large, so it's going to be really easy for my old eyes. The tops of the pages have these the chapter titles on them, and so when you're like flipping through the book, you can easily see like what chapter you're in. I know that sounds like a really small thing, but when I'm flipping through the book looking for something particular, having those headlines up there with the chapter titles helps me find what I'm looking for very quickly. And so I'm so thankful for little stuff like that, guys. Little stuff goes a long way for me. There's a lot of tables and charts in here. It's a small book, but you can see there's a lot of tables and charts, which I like. I can easily get things mixed up, and those tables and charts kind of help me access that information easily, and I can refer back to them really quick. The layout has kind of an old school feel to it, so there's not like a lot of, it's graphic design, but it's not like super duper graphic design, right? It looks like something from like the 80s, 1980s, right? And it has like an old school feel to it. I know the original book titled Cyberpunk 2020 that was published actually back in 1988, so it's kind of nice to see that they kind of held true to those nostalgic roots. Pretty cool. So the art in the book is really cool as well. You expect nothing less. These guys do amazing work. They have amazing attention to detail. The art is absolutely fantastic. I know what I'm showing you on here is not going to do it justice, but it's absolutely incredible. Almost every picture shows some sort of action being taken, and it kind of gives me the feeling that this world is constantly moving, and there's always crazy stuff going on. There's a few characters like kind of posing in the book, but pretty much everything in the rule book shows some sort of action, which is really cool. Are there any other ones that I want to show you in here? Because all this stuff is like really cool art. Chick's like hacking into something. There's a badass tank. Yeah, but just really nice stuff. The art is incredibly done. So now the art in the world book, it depicts more scenes, right? And that makes sense. It helps to kind of visualize. There's a gun, but it helps to kind of visualize the world a little bit more, so you can see what's going on. So again, really, really cool artwork. So all right, so let's dive right into the world book and see if we can kind of figure out what's going on in the world of Cyberpunk Red. Now, this is not focusing right. Yeah. No, focus on me, dude. Focus on me. Here we go. Look, it's like, no. And my cameras are just not working with me tonight, guys. There we go. And I try. Yeah. All right. We got it. All right. So the book starts off kind of telling us, welcome to the time of the red. Okay. Along with this quote to kind of help set the tone. And I want to read you this quote. It's pretty cool. It says, "Pay attention, punks. My old man used to say, history would bite you in the ass if you don't learn about it. It's like a big rabid dog that will go after you if you keep going back to its hideout. So I'm going to fill you in with some history. You better learn pronto now that you're on the street, because you don't want to get bit by this beast." All right. Right away. Like, I like the snarky banter here. I can tell I'm going to be a fan of this writing style for sure. Let me grab a... I'm like sweating in here because my air conditioner is so loud. I have to turn it off for my stream so it's not like crazy buzzing your ear. This might be the last time I do that because it's crazy hot outside. It's crazy hot in here now. So one thing to note real quick before I dive into the rest of this lore here is the book takes place kind of pretty close to our own timeline. So in the book, they talk about the year like 1990s and 2019, but the world is a totally different place than our world. Okay. Different timeline. Now, the original Cyberpunk 2020 book, like I said, was published back in 1988, and they were writing about the year 2020 like it was way in the future. Was that like 40 years or something, right? I mean, you can make out some parallels to our world if you read into it, but honestly, I'll just recommend just suspending all of that and just reading things like as a totally fictional time and place. All right. And it kind of helped me out a little bit to add 3 to the front. So when they talk about 2019, I'll say 3019. So it just helps me to stop comparing my world to the world in the book so much. Yeah, Josh, it's crazy hot. So let's talk about the world before the war. This is how they talk about this. They talk about what the world was like before what they call the fourth corporate war. All right. It tells us that by the end of the 1980s, it was evident, and I'm gonna quote this because this is amazing. By the end of the 1980s, it was evident that the nation was in trouble. Most social norms had dissolved under an engulfing wave of competing special interest groups, media-fueled fads, and an overall me-first worldview. Wow. That kind of okay. I'm not going to parallel anything, but that's how this book. That's the first paragraph in this book. Pretty cool. In 1994, over 21 million. This is the 1994 in this book, right? Not our world, but they say in 1994, over 21 million people were homeless, and they're living on the streets. And the world has been split basically into 2 radically different classes. You were either very wealthy and technically oriented in like the corporate professional group, or you were really, really poor and economically unstable, kind of like an unskilled blue collar worker. The middle class was pretty much just destroyed. Now, larger cities, they tell us, were kept clean and they're free of crime and poverty, and because they're controlled by these very powerful corporations. The central areas of the cities are now kind of like combat zones, full of like burned out ghettos, full of what they call these booster gangs, whatever those are, and like violent sociopaths. So there's some very, very dangerous areas. Out in the suburbs, they're also they're also corporate controlled. And that's where like the executives raise their children in relatively, in safety, basically with their guards and everything else away from the poor. Now, it tells us that small towns were pretty much abandoned because of things like drought, banks collapsing, famine, and like all types of economic chaos. I'm just kind of giving you guys the synopsis of what's going on. These big corporations called agro corporations took over all the farms in the country, and they worked the crops with like hired workers and with like machines, and like they have guards guarding them all the time and all this kind of stuff. Now, it tells us that freeways kind of they're like battlegrounds now, where the booster gangs, they travel kind of, from city to city, looting and taking basically whatever they can. So it's a really dangerous place, and it's a bad place to be, at least for some people. And it seems like it's getting worse. But it tells us that the crammed mega cities weren't all that bad, so that they did give birth to this huge explosion of technological breakthroughs and wonders that all people could engage with. And these huge mega corporations started to run everything, and they acted like small nations, basically. And they would raise these corporations, mega corporations, would actually raise armies to fight each other, while their executives, kind of all comfortable up in their high rises, looked, down judgmentally on the poor people. But this was kind of cool. The book says that the great lever that helped to balance things out a bit was technology. Now, the masses on the street use what they call cyberware and weapons and just whatever they can against these corporations. These people that rebel against the corporations are basically known as edge runners or cyberpunks. There's a name. And so they fight against these mega corporations at all, against all odds. So they're the people that are out there, rebelling against them. Now, it tells us a little bit about the Fourth Corporate War. So that was kind of like before the war, and now we're going to talk about the war itself. The Fourth Corporate War started when these mega corporations decided to use their military strength to achieve their financial goals, right? And without going into all the details, can I give you the quick rundown? Now, these megacorps would kind of battle with their armies all over the world, and these spots just kind of flare up, these strategic spots, wherever they needed to do something, they would just start fighting right there. And they would do it all over the world, and there wasn't much that the governments could do about it. They left some really crazy, insane devastation all over the globe, turning cities into basically ruins wherever their conflict kind of rose up. So long story short, one of the megacorps ended up setting off a small nuclear bomb, like a small nuke in the city called Night City in the year 2023. It says that it reduced most of the city to rubble and killed thousands of people. Now, the fallout from this nuclear blast, as well as debris, because there was this other war called the orbital war. I'm not going to get into that yet. So there's kind of debris raining down from the orbital war, and plus the fallout from this nuke. It turned the sky blood red for 2 years. And the sky, they said, would remain red, especially during the sunsets and sunrises, for 20 years. And this time is what is known as the time of red. And so that's where you get that from. Oh, my box fell. Dude, I think it's so hot, yeah. All right, I'll fix that. Now, so again, this is why it's known as the time of red. And this would be the backdrop of the post-war world kind of recovering and rebuilding. So it's pretty neat stuff. The book kind of goes on to describe the United States kind of as divided. It's really divided. The East Coast is controlled by the federal government still, while anything kind of west of the Mississippi is considered the Wild West. And it's kind of unincorporated from basically all the way from Seattle all the way down to Mexico. All that's unincorporated now. So there's some treaties and stuff trying to go on. But yeah, lots of stuff all over the place is weird. So kind of goes on and tells us a little bit more about other parts of the world. the condition that these other parts of the world are in. You're kind of pretty similar to the U.S. and a lot of the places, but other places in the world are totally destroyed by war and basically in ruins. So yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. And then the chapter kind of ends with this with another quote that I wanted to read to you because I just love these quotes. They're really snarky and really fun. It says, "So, welcome to the time of Red Chimbada." Whatever that means. It's more dangerous than once glamorous and hypercharged lost time of the cyberpunk 2020s. The body count is higher and the stakes even nastier. But that's not going to stop you, is it? Didn't think so. So there you have it. The book and the world honestly sounds amazing to me. Tomorrow I'm going to be opening up the rule book and kind of sharing what they tell us in there. I'll let you know what I find out. But yeah, that's about it. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe. I think it's like right down there. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Just hit the button. Like and share the stream. I just had 6 more vodka who are the makers of Degenesis share my stream on their Twitter this morning. And I got to say, that's a really, really cool feeling. Sharing the videos on social media really helps out a lot, you guys. And I really appreciate it so much. The comments too. I love seeing these comments when I get notified, encouraging stuff, and tell me where I messed up because I mess up a lot. That's cool. It's fine with me. Like I said, one last thing. If you look down into the description, you will see a link to my Patreon that I talked about earlier. Like I said, I just started it up. If you like this content, you want to see more of it, please consider donating to my Patreon. It will help me continue to make these streams. And like I said, every little bit helps. So yeah, just anything helps a lot, you guys. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you stopping in, and we will see you all